Trigger warning. Genocide, assault, and war crimes.
Well done.
Welcome to the Eurocentrist podcast, everyone.
Episode 15.
Don't
Episode
even
15.
think about starting this before you put that terrible pun in as well.
Yeah, that is exactly what's going to happen.
Right.
Most likely, yes. And we have a special guest with us. It is...
Jack Holmes.
Hey, Jack. Thank you for being here.
No worries. Thank you for having me eventually.
Yeah. Well, we
you
wanted...
took your sweet time.
Yeah, first of all, I
preamble.
wanted to find something that like is appropriate to your
Persona?
Like, no. Your potential to make light of tragic things like your own life.
Like the patriarchy.
And I think I found the right topic, and we found a new researcher, so shout out to our new researcher.
Shout out to my friend Franzi. I love you to death. She's a good friend of mine from university, and also she has a master's in history, so I have every faith in her. If it turns out that this gets really, really dark and not in a funny way, I still stand by my statement, but I cannot vouch for what happens.
And it probably will. I'm your guest.
No, but
Just misery and no punchlines.
that should be the name of your comedy special. Misery and no punchline.
Foreshadowing.
Also, Paul, sorry if my stomach rumbling got picked up on the mic there.
If it did, I will enhance it.
Oh, okay. No, I saw you staring at me whilst it was happening.
No.
Like,
No, he's just making you feel uncomfortable for recreational purposes.
Well, I'm excited about this podcast, but I go into any podcasting situation with you already uncomfortable considering our history. Also with you, because last time I did your podcast, I outed myself as not understanding what the metric system is.
So did I. So we all went down together in that one. Mutually assured destruction.
Just flip-flopping the points.
That should also be the name of your
flip-flopping the point.
No.
That's a fucking brilliant name, because I've got erectile dysfunction jokes.
Hey! There we go.
I was going to say mutually...
We inched forward to the real title. Nice.
Yeah, let's publicly make that available before it gets released. No.
I'm going to bleep that.
No, what I was going to suggest was mutually assured destruction as the title, but flip-flopping.
I mean, he's pretty mad. So, yeah, that's...
He's pretty mad?
Yeah, that's the acronym for mutually assured destruction.
I didn't make that connection.
Yeah. All right. So, I picked this topic because, first of all, I got taught nothing of this in Austrian history school, neither at university nor in high school. Okay. So, when I learned about it from another brilliant history podcast. Shout out to Lions Led by Donkeys. It's a military disaster podcast.
Okay. That's a fucking brilliant name.
Yeah, exactly. And they do a bang up job. Like they're really fantastic researchers and
Can I take a guess at what the subject might be?
Okay, yeah,
so
sure.
If you never learned it at school or university in Austria, can I assume it's basic social skills?
Fucking get him.
You're third right, because social is in the name of some of the stuff here.
Okay, that is not what it means to be a third right. I was going to...
On a technicality, is a third right.
Yeah, you can tell he was schooled by the Austrian education system. We might not know the metric system, but neither does he. No.
Stupid aside, but I have my appendicitis bit.
Yeah.
And
appendicitis guy.
And I just explained to the audience as a setup, like how to look for it, which is just them pushing into your side with the finger.
That's why he was looking at your stomach earlier.
I can't wait to poke around in there. Don't want to eat grass no more.
Okay.
But there was apparently a doctor in the second or third row, and she's like, and started talking to her friend next to her, and I interrupted myself. I'm like, "Are you a doctor?" And she's like, "Yes." And are you explaining that it's only 98% of the time correct at this test, because I said 100%?
Yeah.
Surefire way to test for it. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, are you Austrian? And she's like, yes.
I appreciate that she felt compelled to correct you right then and there in the middle of the show.
And then for 30 seconds, I ripped her for that.
Yeah, the thing is, you know that she was correcting you as an Austrian and not as a doctor.
We've got a reputation.
Medically inaccurate.
You've got a reputation to uphold as a country. And also, I believe we as a Brit and an American have a reputation to uphold as not knowing a lot about other cultures' history.
That's true. I was gonna say we don't have a good reputation to uphold.
No, neither of us do.
But I feel we'll do a fantastic job if we're here to show the world what cretins we really are.
I mean, that is literally the point of the podcast. Is we find out about other countries' history and we get mad at our own countries for not telling us about this, because a lot of the time it's like we get to roast other countries for being stupid. We should have learned this. We love doing that. We won't learn about Vietnam, but they also won't tell us about, like, I don't know, fucking idiots of Rome, I guess.
Yeah, for example.
In England, we're taught that we won the Second World War.
Oh, us too. Yeah. Obviously.
Literally, the Obama giving Obama the medal again. You know, America and Britain just like, yeah, we did it, right?
It's us, baby. We learned a lot about World War II, and in the South, you learn about not slavery, but Reconstruction, because they were the victims.
Yeah. And John Crow was a good guy.
You mean Jim Crow?
Jim Crow, sorry.
A reputation.
Balls of you to have a history podcast.
John, Jim, who cares? But we are actually talking about a John today. The title that.
So you were a third, right?
Huh?
You were a third, right?
Yeah, there we go.
So it is. We are covering today.
Hans, are we the baddies?
John Rabe, the good Nazi of Nanking.
So we are talking about the Holocaust. Great.
The good Nazi of what?
Of Nanking.
Of Nanking, yeah.
Or Nanjing, depending on...
You mean Beijing?
No, that's
Peking.
the other...
Peking.
No, Nanking is the other capital of China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nanking or Nanjing, it's like one of the oldest, most historic cities in China.
Okay.
Yeah. John Rabe, you have a visualization of what the man looks behind you.
Yeah, he looks exactly like I expected him to.
That is an Indiana Jones Nazi if I've ever seen one.
You could tell me.
I need to take my glasses off. Has he got a face scar? No, he doesn't, but he's got gnarly jowls, so that counts.
I was going to say, you could tell me that is Josef Mengele, and I'd believe you. I'd believe he's
cosplaying as Josef Mengele.
I mean, I know what Josef Mengele looks like, and it doesn't look anything like him, but if you were to say the name Josef Mengele to me, and I had no...
This would just pop up, yeah.
Tangent, do you think the word mangle comes from Josef Mengele?
That would be funny, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Because it's too late in, like, the historical timeline.
A Mengele would be, like, Menge would be an amount, and
like
Le would be a cutification, smallification.
Well, no, not
so
like,
a small amount.
It doesn't have the same etymology.
To get too grim and get you demonetized if you're monetized, which I doubt. But like
we're blowing
to mangle means to like really get in there and mess something up, and considering his line of work.
Oh, no, it is like divine destiny.
He didn't really mess up anything. He was trying to do everything that he did, so...
Well, yeah, sure, but I mean, I feel like the people were like, you just fucking messed up my leg, man. What the fuck?
What you're saying is Josef Mengele is the John Rambo of the Nazi Empire.
Did Rambo have something named after him, or...?
No, but he Ramboed all the time. Like...
Oh, yeah, but that's... They called him Rambo because, like, that's after the fact. I assume so.
I've no idea. We can't verify this, audience. I'm so sorry.
I'm derailing the fuck out of this. I came into this with like, be good this time.
Yeah. So good Nazi are two words that I would not want to put next to each other, but
by John Rabe himself. Can I or am I even allowed to run away under these circumstances? I don't think so.
No.
Whoever once sits in a shelter with one Chinese child on each hand for hours during an air raid will empathize with me.
Well, yeah, he shouldn't run away. Yeah, he did a really bad thing by the sounds of it. He's like, should I run away? Should I go to Argentina? No,
he says, I don't think so.
Yeah. You don't get an applause for recognizing that you did a bad thing.
Was he in China when?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He was the good Nazi.
All right, we're getting to his life story.
Okay.
So, a little bit of preamble here. For some elderly Chinese who were already alive during World War II and still remember it, the red and white Nazi flag with the so-called Hakenkreuz isn't a symbol of terror like in the European countries like Germany or the countries which were conquered by the Wehrmacht. For these Chinese people, it became a shield protection for a span of around 7 weeks many decades ago, which meant hope and survival for them in a situation full of pain, terror, and death, because of John Rabe. Not many members of the party NSDAP are remembered as fondly as him. Thanks to Steven Spielberg's iconic masterpiece Schindler's List, many people all over the globe know the actions of Oskar Schindler. But the name of John Rabe and the story behind the name is not well remembered by the world, except in China, and especially by the survivors of the Massacre of Nanking from 1937 to 1938. So that's what we're covering today.
Okay.
Okay, wow.
All right. John Rabe's upbringing. John Heinrich Detlef Rabe.
Yeah, get him. His name sucks.
Say that again for the cheap seats in the back.
John Heinrich Detlef Rabe.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Detlef is like, even for an Austrian, that is a Germanic name.
Yeah.
Like, we would never call our kids Detlef.
And that's a middle name, too. So what, was that like passed down or something?
Probably, yeah.
So someone had given a member of the family that name on purpose.
So just kind of, oh my God.
I've never met someone called
So
Detlef.
he was born on 23rd of November, 1882 in Hamburg, Germany, as the son of naval clerk Markus Rabe, who lived from 1846 to 1898, and Anna Cecilia Köln, 1849 to 1916. According to Rabe himself, he was named after his great-uncle John George Rabe, 1814 to 1913, who emigrated to Australia in his teenage years. So I'm guessing that's where the John comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a really weird thing to name in Germany.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait, where the fuck did that name come from?
In 1882, what? Like,
yeah, this is like a super hipster name. Like,
yeah.
I feel like even in Australia,
Flip-flop.
John is
No.
pretty fucking advanced for 1882.
No, it's not. What? They
It's
were
all filled
colonized
with
by
British.
the
It's
English.
full
Well, yeah,
of British
sure, but I
people.
don't like. I wouldn't.
I don't think
I can't think of a historical figure called John.
in
John
Australia.
the Baptist.
You know what? There we go. You got what you wanted. I've just made an ass out of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a biblical fucking name.
I can't defend you. Sorry.
No, nor should you. Let me die.
John of Arc.
You're Joan of
Now I feel redeemed.
Johann of Arc.
Johannes of Arc.
Yeah, because they would be probably statistically Johann or Johannes instead of John.
Yeah.
But yeah, why they gave him
Because of his great uncle, apparently, who was in Australia. So I guess maybe when he emigrated to Australia, the uncle, he took the name John.
Yeah.
probably.
And then because that dude was such a badass,
Yeah.
you call either there's nothing going on in your family and you're like, who can we call him after? Our parents are dog shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like who are we taking? Well, we're gonna go with the great uncle,
Yeah.
you know.
He had several other names to choose from. They're like, nah, there's too many Heinrichs in Hamburg.
I like to think that this dude was the first person to get to Australia, taste Vegemite, and go, nah, this is bullshit.
You know what?
That's why.
Maggie and nothing else.
Exactly.
That would be a legacy to keep on living.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would want to know what the motivation is, but I doubt it's going to be.
No, it's not
there.
in here. Sorry. After the early death of his father due to cancer, when Rabe was just around 15 years old, he left middle school and began his commercial education. After his 2.5 years as an apprentice, he became an assistant at an export agency in Hamburg. Good place to be. Hamburg being like a big trade
Sure.
center because of all the shipping. All right. Rabe's way to Nanking. Rabe's way in life outside of Germany began quite early. On the suggestion of his supervisor at the export agency, he traveled to Lourenço Marques in the then Portuguese colony Mozambique around the age of 21 years. So he's traveling now to Mozambique.
He's taking a gap year.
Yeah,
he's taking a gap year.
my Mozambique gap year. Like, he has a blog.
Yeah, why is he there though? Does it say? He's just.
I'm guessing like business opportunity. You know, there he worked at a renowned English company. But 3 years later, in 1906, Rabe had to return to Germany due to a malaria infection.
He said a well-known English... was it the East India Company? Like, what else would it have been at this time?
There is no fucking legit reason for any white guy to have business in Mozambique at that time.
Unless it's that. Like, not that that's legit business either, but you know what I mean.
It's the Seinfeld lie bit about... you know, I'm an importer, exporter.
I've never seen
Oh,
Seinfeld.
yeah. George. Art Vandelay.
Art Vandelay, yeah. Importer, exporter. So what does he import and export? Humans? Like, no. All right, but 3 years later, the malaria infection. All right, so he tapped out. He is like, I'm good with Mozambique now. Yeah. In 1908, he traveled to China with the famous Trans-Siberian Railway, where he worked at a German-speaking company in Beijing. 1 year later, in 1909, he married Dora Schubert, a friend from his youth in Hamburg, in Shanghai. So they married in, that is...
Where did they meet in Shanghai? That's
they met as a friend of his youth. So they probably, when they were children, they knew each other already. Maybe they stayed in contact. You know how romancing back then worked too. For German, it's just a letter. You know, an application. Application of marriage.
Here's my net worth. Here's like the assets my family owns.
I've applied for the certificate already.
Addressed to her father, no doubt.
I pre-filled all the things out that a woman wouldn't know.
Yeah, all she needs to do is write the signature, which we're not really sure if she knows how to do, but a scribble will suffice.
But to this guy's credit, he is an innovator, because I think he might be historically the first person to import a woman into Asia.
Oh my God.
30-day.
We're breaking in. No, that's. I feel bad for laughing, but I am laughing.
30-day fiance, reverse edition.
But that's why I'm thinking, like, that's so random to like bring someone. Did they reconnect there, or like
maybe
they just
again they stayed in contact with letters and fell in love that way?
I also feel like there's a fair chance he was just in Beijing. It was like not Beijing, wherever it was.
Yeah, Beijing or Shanghai. Yeah.
Wherever he was, and just like taking stock of the women he knows. It was like, yeah, that one, like that's a good match. I feel like there was a lot less romance.
Yeah,
especially for a German clerk, you know, like.
But they were childhood friends, so there's something. There's something there.
Childhood friends back then meant maybe like he didn't beat the shit out of her, you know, in the schoolyard.
I'm gonna choose not to believe that.
Weren't they schooled? Weren't boys and girls schooled
probably separated? Yeah. God damn it, poking holes into my fake background story.
In your fake background story where the woman doesn't get beaten, and that's why. Like, I'm good with poking holes into this narrative, actually.
All right. Together, they had 2 children. Margaret, born in December 1910, and Otto, born in May 1917.
The most German names possible.
Yeah. Otto Rabe and Margaret Rabe.
That's a cycle of abuse. Just keep the name theme going.
Interesting, though, that they did like have a break of 7 years between 1910 and 1917. So they took a long break. Maybe... because they were like, we wait 4 years and then World War I kicked off, and they're like, well, after the war is finished.
They were just trying out like the original draft of the one-child rule.
Coming in hot with the China jokes.
Oh my God.
For something that probably won't be released. All right. In 1911, he started working in the company representation of Siemens in Beijing. Rabe stayed in China after the start of World War I, even after China declared war on Germany, after receiving pressure from the Allied forces. That must be an awkward business meeting.
Yeah. I know you just declared war on us. That's like being a Russian now in Europe.
Yeah. So, what about this Kaiser? Isn't he a goofy dude?
All right, yeah.
Damn. In all these years in China, he managed to build up good connections to the local Chinese administration and convinced Chinese officials that it would be in favor of China, as well as the company of Siemens, that he remained in Beijing and administered the offices of Siemens in Beijing.
Okay. Well, I guess they must have liked him then if they put him in charge.
He must be, for how he looked, he must be fucking charming. Yeah. Or at least just a really good talker.
I mean, he seemed like a handsome dude for like back then standards.
Yeah. I would call him at least average looking. Yeah. He's not an uggo. Yeah.
He's not an uggo, but he does have like, I don't know.
Maybe it's just that German, like, directness. And
he's
like,
kind of smiling in that picture, so for that reason alone, I'm going to believe that he has like, personality. He had a personality.
There also had to be some sort of like white glorification in
business
organization.
And he's working for Siemens, which is one of the biggest companies out there, even back then.
But white glorification, I mean, it's not among other white people. Like, it's other white people that are hiring him in China. Like, it's not like the Chinese people had to, like...
But he has good connections to the Chinese, so...
Sure, but then in that case, like, he's not the only white person working there, so it's like, why him specifically? It could be any white person.
Maybe he just talks to them.
Well, yeah, but he didn't say
he won't marry one, but he'll talk to them.
He didn't say that he was the only one who got to stay.
I mean, but he is the one that was elevated to the highest position
exactly.
so far.
He's now running Siemens offices.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he must have had some...
That's a pretty good promotion, too.
He must have had some kind of riz. That's all I'm going to say. He does look like he has some riz, but...
in 1919, after the defeat of Germany, China, again under pressure from Britain's side, decreed that all Germans had to leave the country and to return to Germany.
You're welcome, China.
That's the only time you can ever say that.
We haven't done a lot of good in the world.
One for the boys. What unites Austria and Britain? Their combined hatred of the Germans.
Yes.
Decreed that all Germans had to leave the country and to return to Germany in a way which was later described as a transport of prisoners, a move called Repatriierung, so repatriation.
Repatriizing.
Yeah.
Whatever the word is.
Repatronization.
I feel repatronized. Rabe also couldn't talk his way out this time, but he returned to China 1 year later in 1920 through Japan.
So he
loves China. He's like, I'm weaseling way back in there.
He talked his way, or he tried to talk his way. I feel like he's a silver-tongued devil. Come on.
It seems like it. Yeah.
You can't, like, cause I am a little suspicious as to why he keeps going back.
It's authority. Like projected authority.
True, but that's Riz. He's got the confidence.
Yes, that too. Yeah,
he's got the Riz.
It's like a golden grill on his teeth.
That's not what Riz means. He's not Lil Wayne. Like
Lil Rob.
Lil Rob.
Deadlift Ruba.
He's got ravens flying out every single time he enters a room.
There he started to build up a local company representation of Siemens in Beijing under the alias Yufeng Corporation. Later on, this granted him the position of mercantile director in the Siemens China Corporation.
Okay.
So by cleverly moving in early and rebuilding it up, I guess, they're like, all right, we're giving you the boss seat.
You get a founder's fee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everybody complaining about startups today. Now that's how to build a startup. You weasel your way back into China
via Japan.
Yeah.
That would be the way to do it, I suppose, though, since they're not exactly on the greatest terms at this point.
No, they're not shaking hands at that point. No. After being sent by Siemens to the city of Tianjin in 1925 to work in the same position there, Rabe was relocated again to Nanking in 1931 in order to overtake the whole management of Siemens in China. So again, another promotion. So he's moving up. Together with his family, he lived on an estate belonging to the local university. He helped build up a German school on this estate, which opened on the 15th of October 1933. You will be learning German and you're gonna enjoy it, yeah!
That's
in the middle of China. This is gonna add to your experience pool, yeah?
I keep wondering, did he learn Chinese? Did he learn Mandarin?
I imagine he would have had to. I can't think
Probably,
he was getting by on English.
Then why the fuck is he trying to teach German to these people?
Because that's what fucking assholes do when they go abroad, is they teach their language.
He thinks this is charity, basically. He's
true.
like, I'm doing something magnanimous.
This is some white man's burden shit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, he does
just like the Canadians forced the Native Americans to learn English and English only in school.
It was not just Canada. We did it too.
Yeah, but they at least apologized for it.
It's not.
But we have not.
Not to defend Nazis, but
yeah, that's how you want to start the sentence.
It's not like a horrible thing to do. It's like, oh, you're going to learn a second language and broaden your possible horizons.
It is a little bit when, like, it's the dominant cultural force being like, no, you have to learn our language. You don't know why yet.
And for him,
but it will be in your best interest in, like, 20 years? It's not the 40s yet.
Fair point.
And his ulterior motives too, maybe. Of like, I'm working for Siemens by having Chinese people, educated Chinese people, because they're already going to university, also learn German.
Oh, so this wasn't like little kids coming.
No, he founded it inside a university,
right,
so I'm assuming it's for higher education.
Yeah, true. I didn't think about that. I thought it was kids.
So I'm assuming it's also a recruiting tool at the same time for the company.
Probably. That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So he's smart. He's let's exploit the local populace, but also be friendly to them so they don't think twice.
Yeah, that's just an efficient way of colonization.
I was going to say that's the school of British 101.
Yeah, except they're doing it better. And the sound of
German in charge, of course.
It's more efficient, more effective. They're not like, we don't remember the English very fondly for their colonization, whereas we don't even think about what the Germans did to other parts of the world.
Well, that's because we showed up all like, oh, pip, pip, tally ho, good day. And everyone's like, we know what the fuck you're doing.
Exactly.
With your politeness and your queuing. Fuck off.
Exactly. The PR is better for the Germans. They did a Holocaust to make sure, do something really, really bad so that everyone forgets about the other stuff and instead remembers the really bad thing that you did.
So thank you, Germany.
Back to John. Okay. Rabe suffered from diabetes. Diabetes.
Oh, Deadlift Ruber's got those dire beats.
This is my second favorite Freudian slip of yours on the podcast. The first one is when he confused his wife for his mom.
Oh, fuck you. No callbacks.
No callsies backsies.
I'm already leaving it into the episode. Why do we have to bring that up?
Because he doesn't know, and I need him to know.
I'm gonna let this one slide because I feel like I've already derailed this enough. But don't think that this is gonna slide in your personal.
I know you're gonna pull it out again when we have a roast battle in the next 3 years. All right, so he has diabetes by the time he worked in Nanjing, requiring him to take regular doses of insulin. So it's pig insulin. It's not a great time.
How old is he at this point?
He's in his 50s, nearly, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because he was born in 82, yeah, so he's already...
And okay.
Wait, so if this is the...
Yeah, he's 51. He's 51 already.
Okay, and this is... Sorry, what year is this
so this
again?
is
1933.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we're coming towards the bad times.
Mm-hmm. It is claimed that Rabe only joined the NSDAP in 1934 to keep this school afloat and to receive necessary materials with help of the local branch of the party. This can be disputed in light of entries of his journal he kept hold of through the coming events.
Okay.
The massacre of Nanking and Rabe's reaction and action. Unlike before, Rabe was at latest confronted directly with the politics of the Nazi regime in the winter of 1937. Earlier that year, Italy joined the so-called Anti-Comintern Pact Japan and Germany concluded before in 1936. Thus was the birth of the Axis of Evil. On July 7th, 1937, the Second Sino-Japanese War broke out after several encounters of the respective armies of Japan and China just outside of Beijing, which got evacuated on 28th of July. The Japanese army overran the Chinese city of Tianjin on 30th of July and started to besiege Shanghai on the 30th of August. So China gets the shit kicked out of them by the Japanese army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the Axis.
For one reason is because China was at that point extremely like underfunded, basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They're just getting all of their resources extracted, and also they have an incredibly corrupt state apparatus.
They've just not been having a good time for the beginning of the 20th century to begin. End of the 19th and beginning of the 20th century.
It's not a good time for China. No. It's very much just like Ukraine, where it's like just getting the shit kicked out of them by like just like the opposing forces around them.
I don't really feel like you can say Ukraine's getting the shit kicked out of them anymore.
Not
we
today.
should all be fucking scared of Ukrainians.
I'm talking like Second World War and afterwards, because the Russians didn't. They did the genocide or two right after the Nazis.
They were known to genocide every what when.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. All right. Shanghai surrendered after 3 months, and the Japanese army followed the nationalistic Kuomintang army in the direction of Nanking, the then capital of China, which got evacuated in November. So he's in Nanking, and Nanking is getting evacuated.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of questions. Who is doing the evacuating, and where are they going?
The loyalist Chinese forces. They are just like let's get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we square off with the Japanese, we get our shit stomped.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also we have, I think at that point we already have
they're even evacuating
Russian and communist splinter groups as well.
Well, yeah.
That will form into the Chinese Red Army at some point.
Right. Yeah.
So we have that at the same time as well going on. So it's like a swirl, like a whirlpool of like, fuck you, you know?
This is an infinity war of World War II shit.
Yeah.
So, okay.
How scary is it that sounds pretty par for the course of what's happening now? There's just so many little fucking pockets. It's like, oh, this is all gonna spill into one soon, isn't it?
I mean, that is what happens in history a lot. That we are doomed to repeat it.
And it's coming up for the 100-year anniversary. So.
We're gonna release the remix.
We're gonna reissue it, get some extra bonus content in there.
Yeah, some bonus tracks, some commentary from.
we get
commentary from the dictators.
Yeah.
We get to reshoot everything in 4K this time.
Yeah, we've remastered into. Okay. So what I'm wondering is why they're evacuating the German population there when they're like allied with the
Chinese are still evacuating.
The Chinese are but also is he not being evacuated as well?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. It sort of sounded like he was getting.
Oh, so he's just stuck there whilst they're evacuating.
Yeah.
Oh, I assumed he was getting.
Yeah, me too. That's
bundled
why.
in with the rest of them.
Nope.
Okay.
Rabe had returned to Nanking on the 7th of September 1938 from the beach resort Bedahai.
He's just fucking living it up. It turns out we don't need to be worried about him.
From his summer vacation. So he was like literally like
he was on his
World
summer
War
vacation.
II is like in the middle of like the powder keg has been lit and he's like on the beach with like sunglasses.
I forget
He's like, hey, the country I live in is being invaded. Who by someone I'm allied with. I'm good.
I'm fucking chilling in Cancun right now. Like I'm busy. I've turned my phone off for the last 2 weeks. I forget this is like early July too, so he's like
it's beautiful out there.
It's peak tourist season. Like he might as well be on one of those like Nazi propaganda posters where they're all like
on the beach.
Yeah, no, they're all chilling by a lake with like a bunch of like dirndls and fucking like blonde braids. Exactly. Like he might as well. That's probably what him and his family looked like on these beaches.
Probably, yeah. Somebody's like playing the harmonica.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh shit.
So yeah, he's avoiding the Grape of Nanking in order to avoid.
Well, no, he returned from his beach vacation into Nanking.
Oh, okay. So
so
okay, now we can be worried about it.
He had left his wife Dora behind for safety reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Smart. Who moved to Tianjin and later Shanghai. Mm-hmm. Rabe saw her again in Shanghai in February 1938 before returning to Germany together. Rabe's first entry is dated on the 21st of September 1937, in which he wrote about his motivation to stay in Nanking. Quote, I did not return here from safe Pataiho because of love of adventure, but primarily to protect my property and to represent the interests of Siemens. Of course, the company cannot and does not expect me to get shot and killed here for its sake, and I don't want to risk my life for any goods or property, be it that of the company or my own few clothes. But as a reputable businessman from Hamburg, there is a moral point which I simply cannot ignore.
I mean, is he a fucking politician? Like, why the fuck is he talking like that?
He's a
Most
fucking 1930s uptight German dude. Of course he talks
unlocked
like that.
top German. He's like, this is my obligation.
Yeah.
I have written down a signature on this contract that states I should do the utmost to protect the Siemens property.
Yes.
You know, like he is.
Fuck the people that are like getting actually murdered and brutalized. We need to protect my stuff.
He doesn't know that yet. He doesn't know
that this massacre is occurring.
No, the massacre hasn't started yet.
It's about to start.
Yeah, but
why does he think people are evacuating?
Yeah, because it's the Chinese are still. I mean,
I think it would
the Chinese are very much like through the lens of Japanese propaganda, like as subhuman, basically as the Judeo-Bolshevik conspiracy was for the Nazis.
Subhuman, but they're also still a threat. That's how the propaganda works. Is that they're less than human, but you still need to be comfortable brutalizing them, which is why I find it extremely naive to think that he wouldn't have had any idea of what to expect, especially when he left his wife and daughter behind for their safety.
Right.
Bullshit, he didn't know it was happening. Bull fucking shit. He knew exactly what he was doing, and instead, he's like, yeah, we must protect the interests of the business that I do love
that he name drops Siemens.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, it's like he's fucking sponsored. He's got a sponsorship deal. Like, bullshit. He doesn't know. And he's not going to say anything. How would it have killed him to be like, actually, maybe you shouldn't murder all the people of the city that I live in? It would not have killed him. It would literally have not killed him.
Well,
it might have, depending on who got hold of the journal.
Fair enough, actually. Fine.
Wait,
this is in his private journal. Like, it's not even like he's saying this to another person.
Yeah, but he's a Nazi. He doesn't have a soul.
Well, we don't know that he accepted money from the Nazi party for the school funding. We don't know that his allegiance is actually to the Nazis. And I find it, like, I think it's probably reasonable to expect that maybe this is a means to an end in this particular case.
Sure, but we don't know. We don't
know yet. We don't know. That's true.
Paul's being coy with the information.
Rabe stayed in Nanking together with 23 other foreigners in total, like missionaries, scientists, doctors, and merchants. Mm-hmm. They were replaced by with two new members, Christian Kröger and Georg Fitsch. He planned to install a Sicherheitszone, safety zone, with food, clothes, and shelter for refugees after the Japanese army approached, and warnings of air raids beginning at the end of September. On the 22nd of November 1937, one day after Rabe's 55th birthday, bad birthday present. You were getting an air raid. Present from the Japanese army, airdropped.
It's a good thing he has diabetes and not like a cardiac problem.
Or was it a great birthday present where they're like, we're going to let you have your birthday?
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
We're allied nations. We'll give you your day.
You get to have it.
Then after that, droppy.
You would have been a great RAF member. Just go droppy all over.
That would be a great nickname for a bomber. You know, the droppy.
That's what the Nazis were doing during the Blitz. Going droppy.
All right. One day before Rabe's 55th birthday, he was elected as the head of an international committee with 15 members, which had the goal to protect the city's population who couldn't flee in time, which were not surprisingly the poorest inhabitants of the city, according to Rabe. So, as always, the poor are getting fucked the most.
As per usual.
Yeah, history does repeat itself in certain ways. 7 members of the committee left the city before the Japanese occupation began. Out!
This keeps happening.
I'm totally working to help everybody, right?
Yeah.
And then there's just a dust cloud.
I'm going back to Cancun, y'all. Like, y'all, I protected the Siemens property and now I gotta go.
I left my Japanese fighting stick in that other embassy. I'll be right back.
I left the oven on in Shanghai, I think. Oh, damn.
Why, Germany, don't get any ideas.
Wait, sorry, where is he now?
He's still in Nanking, but he's forming the committee and now he's running it. And the people, 7 of his members of the committee left before the occupation began. Because of air raids from the Japanese side, a security zone which measured 4 square kilometers with 25 shelters was installed in the west side of the city, where embassy buildings and the University of Nanking stood. This idea was inspired by the safety zone established by the French Jesuit missionary Robert Jacquinot de Besange in Shanghai. So they did the same thing already, and they're like, let's copy that, basically.
Mm-hmm. They copied from technically the enemy at this
French
point.
Jesuit missionary? Yeah, kind of.
Well, from the French, yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Well, have the Nazis occupied France at this point?
No, this is before
1938, we're around the corner of that happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not enemies. Okay, so it's like...
Well, enemies, they're literally
I feel like the whole of Europe at this point was like,
yeah.
these guys.
Okay, well, enemies to the... As in they
Meanwhile,
see them as
British
enemies.
appeasement politics are still like, come on, guys, let's get along.
Come on, guys, let's just give them the Sudetenland so that they won't leave us alone. I say that like we weren't just like chilling across the pond.
Meanwhile, IBM was selling calculator machines to the Nazis so that they could make the genocide happen.
Yeah. Pearl Harbor wouldn't happen for another couple of years. Then it starts becoming our problem. Anyway, so.
Rabe opened his own house and yard there to refugees, which became a safe haven for 602 refugees and 14 co-workers, including their families.
He had a yacht this whole time?
Yard.
Oh, yard. I thought you said yacht. That's why I'm like, he opened his yacht. How nice of him. Like,
oh, he only gave him dirt? Well, then, fuck him.
John Rabe,
fuck him and his 600 refugees. That selfish prick.
If he had a...
Nemo, he's there on his fucking yacht. It's like, man, that looks packed in there. Too bad you guys aren't there. I got fucking shrimp. I got prostitutes. It's fucking great up here. It sucks to be you.
Soft and tough all day.
I'll be the surf, you be the turf.
Yay.
Get back on the ground.
Get back on the ground. Okay. I feel less shitty now about him, knowing that he doesn't have
there's a reason why I picked him. He's a fascinating character.
How nice. It does seem
in
like
total, 650 people alone on Rabe's estate.
Okay.
So just on him, in his place, he had 650 couch surfers.
That's a kind.
I believe the word is refugees.
People fleeing war and destruction.
John Rabe had the idea for Airbnb right there and then.
Free Airbnb. That's what. He's not that much of an opportunist, thankfully. Like
Air raid B&B.
Airbnb. Oh no.
In this short time, the International Committee for the Protection of the Security Zone in Nanking, that's the full name, with John Rabe as its chairman, must have gained a lot of notoriety in these 9 days of its existence, because on the 1st of December 1937, it gained the authorization for governing Nanking by the mayor of Nanking, Ma Chua-jun, just before he was evacuated together with his staff on absolute class act.
No, that's like Nixon leave like a
he's like doing this.
Peace out. I'm leaving. That's like Nixon deciding he's
coming back.
He's not coming back, and he gets on his helicopter and flies away, or whatever the fuck happens.
I love the people of Nanking.
That's basically.
Oh, and I opened China to the west. That it was actually him. So
yeah, this is basically Nixon.
Nixon Rabe.
Nixon.
No, but that's the mayor. Yeah, the mayor is a piece of shit. Just before, blah, blah, blah. During especially gruesome air raids in December, Rabe put up a swastika flag which measured 20 square meters on the Siemens factory estates as a signal to Japanese pilots in an effort to save the factory workers, which they apparently really respected.
At least they're trying to save the factory workers and not the factory, like this other guy.
I
One is the other.
imagine the financial entanglement of the actual
The
building
bomb
was a
doesn't
factor.
care. It's going into the building and then the people. It's a 2-for-1.
At least they're like, we care about the people, and they're not just being like, nah, the buildings. We care about that more, actually. I appreciate that they at least have the decency to lie.
Because Siemens definitely, like the Siemens upper echelon in Germany, they don't give a shit about the workers.
No.
Yeah.
No.
On the 10th of December, Japanese forces began conquering Nanking after the Chinese army had given up the defense of the city, which fell 3 days later on the 13th of December 1937. And the massacre of Nanking began. Rabe himself, as the chairman of the committee, met the Japanese army when they entered the city together with some other members of the committee in an effort to explain the safety zone of the city and pleading for the respect of its boundaries, with limited effects. How it was shown in the following weeks. Rabe wrote about this day in his diary. Quote, "If I had not seen it with my own eyes, I would not have believed it. They, Japanese soldiers, smash open windows and doors and take whatever they like. I watched with my own eyes as they looted the cafe of our German baker Herr Kiesling. Of the perhaps 1,000 disarmed soldiers that we had quartered at the Ministry of Justice, between 400 and 500 were driven from it with their hands tied. We assume they were shot since we later heard several salvos of machine gun fire. These events have left us frozen with horror."
Someone's got to tell this man about Kristallnacht, because he's like, I've never seen it before. I'm like, are you sure about that?
I've never seen it before, but it gives me an idea.
Oh my god!
Remix.
Oh my god! Wait, has Kristallnacht happened at this point already?
Yeah, it should
okay.
have already
I'm
happened at
checking. I don't want to say that, because what if? No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, no, okay. So they the Japanese are like, they won their war criming, because you know, even back then, killing enemy combatants which are not fighting anymore is a war crime even then.
Yeah.
So already doing the most Japanese thing during World War II.
It being the bad guys?
Being the bad guys, yes.
It does sound like they were the most brutal out of all. And that's competing with Mengele.
Yes.
Like, how do you win a war of brutality against...
I mean,
Well, I mean, it's two different forms of brutality.
Yes.
Like,
So-
Mengele was like someone on a table brutal, and like this is sort of like...
Yeah, he's one person versus an entire like laboratory of scientists that used to like perform horrifying experiments on people. Like, I don't remember what the number is, but it's like Unit 731.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go on a limb and say a whole laboratory is worse than one guy.
Well, it wasn't just him. He
Sure.
had like a whole staff and also facilities and all that.
Okay,
like for
fine.
example, the middle school that I went to was used during World War II by the Nazis to experiment on children.
That's so dark.
That's not a place for a school.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have the ghosts of children running around a regular school. That's fucking horrifying.
It's French.
Fuck is wrong with your middle school, man?
Was it a school first and then a Nazi science laboratory?
It was built during the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. It was a school back then.
And then the Nazis were just like, fuck these little bastards running around. You guess
basically, yeah.
Oh my god.
Basically, let's have some experiments here.
You know, maybe America and Britain are better countries.
I mean, at the time, most definitely. I'm not proud of my fucking history or heritage, but I don't have that on my fucking conscience.
Yeah. We just had more money than them. That's basically the only thing separating us from them.
We've both done fucking dicky things, but like we were on the right side of this particular incident.
Yeah, no, instead we just traumatized all the kids in schools by telling them that they could die by nuclear war at any minute.
I mean, in fairness, like, what America does to kids in schools doesn't sound that much worse than what was happening here.
No.
They're just passing the buck. It's like, well, we want to get rid of these little fuckers. We're just gonna like make sure.
I'll just say, evil laboratory is not the same as a concentration camp. Okay, like what we do to kids, they are literally built like prisons. My high school literally looks like a prison.
Yeah,
I will show you pictures of it.
A cool prison.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
Mine was very much not a cool
what do you expect from someone who went to a fucking child graveyard for a middle school? Any school is cool in comparison when you don't have fucking the ghosts of two girls who got sewn together fucking floating around the hallways.
That's horrifying.
Well, back to other horrifying stuff.
Okay.
In the next few weeks, everyday life in Nanking consisted of violence. Japanese troops looted and burnt the city and surrounding towns, destroying more than a third of the buildings. Chinese captives are tortured, burned alive, buried alive, decapitated, bayoneted, and shot en masse. Quote, groups of 3 to 10 looting soldiers drove through the city and stole whatever there was to steal. So
that's not the worst thing that you just
no,
but the pause you had after
that quote was so anticlimactic after what you said.
We started with decapitation and then they stole a bunch of shit.
It's a bit because between 20,000 and 80,000 Chinese women and girls of all ages were raped. Thousands are murdered after their ordeal. Thousands more are forced into sex slavery, so-called comfort wives, which is a terribly euphemizing term for the hell these women and girls went through.
Yeah. Quote, the roads were quite messy after that.
See, that's why I wanted to have Jack here. Because
how else are you supposed to respond to that? But that's actually funny. Oh, thank you, Franzi, for writing some levity after. Well, not writing levity.
No. I think sorry, Franzi, for making you research this bullshit.
Yeah.
We appreciate. Thank you for your service, Franzi.
It is one of the worst cases of mass rape in history. Mm-hmm. Rabe, as a witness,
Every fucking podcast I do with you. Every goddamn fucking podcast I do with you.
Shout out to
what did I tell you? What was the one fucking requirement I gave you?
Hey, it's not horny.
No, it's
just
not
an atrocity.
It's an atrocity, but it is not. You got exactly what I told you was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was not going to be pornography.
Just the worst atrocity ever committed by humans towards other humans.
Yeah, the worst kind of atrocity as well you can commit against the ritualized brutalization of...
Just for context of the listeners, Paul used to show me a lot of rape porn. Moving on.
Hey.
Wait, was it... I thought it was just regular porn.
Well,
no, it was...
But there was always one segment at least that was
it was like regular porn.
What are you showing him?
It was... I can't say that right now, but...
You can say the words rape of men.
No, but the movies had funny segments and it was interesting filmmaking.
Yeah, basically there'd be like one scene where it was like a guy chasing a girl around where she was like, oh no, and the Benny Hill soundtrack would play as they fucked.
Yeah.
And then...
As they fucked?
Yeah, basically.
And then the next scene would be some girl on a fucking dirty mattress who got drugged at a party. And I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with the erection that this movie has given me now?
Yeah.
Wait, you had an erection during the Benny Hill scene?
Yes, of course.
That's what I'm thinking.
Of course.
That better have been like a careless whisperified Benny Hill soundtrack. Otherwise, that makes no sense to me. Do you get a boner every time you see Dinner for One? Like, what is...
I get a boner every time I see Dinner.
Damn. That was right there. I can't even be mad at you for taking that. Fuck.
Gobble, gobble.
Anyway, let's go back to horrifying human atrocities.
Yes. Rabe, as a witness, also kept further hold of this in his journal, as the following quotes show. In total, 24 Western foreigners remained in the city trying to protect the Chinese population and to somehow improve the situation for the Chinese population of Nanking. Minnie Votrin, an American missionary and professor, gave shelter to thousands of female refugees in the Gingling College, fighting for her college not to become a brothel for the Japanese army members.
Jesus Christ.
Bernhard Sindberg and Karl Günther built up their own shelter outside the city in a cement factory. So, like, people are trying to help.
Yeah.
And the workers of the Kolu hospital who worked around the clock, who took care of the survivors of Japanese assailants, and which was visited by Rabe every day to keep the view of over the Japanese crimes. While Rabe kept records in his diary, American missionary John Rabe filmed the events as further future evidence. Once Rabe noted, quote, "They didn't get tired of raping women and girls. and killed everyone who resisted or who tried to run away from them or who was unfortunately in the wrong place at the wrong time. They didn't make any difference between adults and children with their gruesome actions. Girls under the age of 8 years and women over the age of 70 were brutally raped and beaten down and killed afterwards. We found the dead bodies of these women laying on broken beer glasses. The bodies of others were pierced through with bamboo sticks. I saw the victims with my own eyes. I spoke to some shortly before their death and just saw their bodies again when they were transported to the morgue at the Koulu hospital. I personally checked that these reports were true.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's really hard to justify calling him a Nazi after hearing all of this stuff. Like, the most Nazi thing he's done so far is take money from
the Nazi Party.
From the Nazi Party.
Well,
hey, it's
we still don't know, but like technically everyone who fought under the Nazi regime was a Nazi, but like they were drafted.
He wasn't fighting. He was quite literally doing the opposite.
Yeah, sure, but I mean, we also still don't know this dude's politics. If he was like, no, I'm going to stay here and fight to the death to protect the Chinese, but get the Jews.
Yeah.
And we had characters like this before, where you have like very selective racism.
Yeah, true.
You know, because he doesn't have a reference frame of like 50 years of indoctrination by the German Reich that the Chinese are the problem, you know?
Yeah.
So when he went to China, he still had that open viewport a little bit.
Yeah.
That they are like, he's like, these are still human beings. Meanwhile, on the other hand, somebody like Einstein, for example, described Chinese people as like basically like troglodytes.
Oh,
you know, like
I did not know
that. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
He went on vacation there with his, I think, then wife.
I don't remember that in Oppenheimer. Like,
but Einstein had some hot takes as well.
What's extra funny is that it's never actually Einstein who called them troglodytes. It was his wife.
Once again, taking credit for Einstein being given all the credit for the work of his wife. We need to put women back in.
Cousin.
Oh yeah, let's make it worse.
His second wife was his cousin.
Ooh,
that's not the worst thing that we've said so far.
No.
I'm just surprised. I never knew.
I didn't know that either.
On 7th of January 1938, he wrote, quote, Mr. Riggs, American professor and member of the committee, brought the following news from his inspection today. A woman was stumbling around in the streets with an abstracted view. She was brought to the hospital and they gathered that she was the sole survivor of a family of 18 people. Her 17 relatives were shot and killed with bayonets. Yeah. So, again, the Japanese are not just like, pacifying the city or whatever.
No, they're in war crime territory.
Are all the episodes this upbeat and chipper?
No.
Actually, there are... This is the darkest one we've had so far.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
We gave this one to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, because we
have the confidence that you can take it.
Yeah. Not only can you take it, but you can take it while still being respectful about it, which is a bigger problem than you might realize in the comedy community, let alone with white men in the straight cis white men in the comedy community. So you do get this honor, actually.
Well, okay, lucky me.
Yes.
How long does this go on for? Actually, like how long?
Weeks.
Weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Weeks.
Because
I can just imagine like being in a situation like that and just feeling like there's no end in sight.
Yeah.
And it could never end. And
it's like hell open up and just continued existing in your front yard.
And if you're a bystander, you feel like even worse just morally because you have to witness all this go down.
And John Rabe is one of those guys who's like...
Yeah, and he's like powerless to stop, or he's trying, but you can only do so much, especially if you're seeing, 17 people get brutalized before your very eyes.
Well, that's her telling the story to him, but still, yeah.
I'm sure we know that he's seen some shit.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He can't.
He's like personally like
he can't go back to Cancun now. Like
it's just
there's
chilling
no
on
way.
the beach again.
Oh my god.
Next summer he's like
It's like, this is kind of this.
Having a nice stroll.
Who needs a fucking relaxing vacation more than someone who's seen that?
I feel like this would kind of ruin vacations for him, though, for the rest of his life.
In Japan, it most likely would. But
Well, in China too, it's like 3 kilometers away. I don't know Chinese geography, but you know what I mean. If it's like on the same soil, I would feel like you could never rest again, because what if something else
you
like
have
this
forever
happens?
PTSD.
Yeah. You could never go on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst thing about this. Is
sure.
that he could never go on vacation.
They fucking
Fuck everyone
ruined
else.
Cancun. And he was the good Nazi as well.
He's crying, I love mimosas.
No, but
They already had a tunnel to South America. It would have been so easy for him to get there as well.
that's true. Why didn't they take any of the refugees there then? They put him on the yacht that he doesn't have. Okay.
Safe to say that the Japanese army wasn't too thrilled about the work of the foreigners in the city. You're interrupting our raping and killing.
Come on, you're ruining our fun.
Oh, Mom!
Mom says it's my turn with the city.
That is the darkest shit you've ever
And
said.
also, it's the most PG way I could have said that.
Yeah, in fairness.
I know.
That is the most advertiser-friendly way I could have said
What
that.
I decided to say was fucking, like, what I decided not to say was darks.
Yeah, me as well.
Claiming that they would stir up unrest in the Chinese population against the Japanese occupants. I think your murdering and killing is doing that already.
God, you're getting in
they're
the
fighting
way.
back? What the fuck?
You're getting in the
This is why you can't trust white people. We came here with a perfectly fucking simple task, and fucking Honky over there is speaking them, getting them all riled up, and now they're kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
Fucking
Stop cock blocking me,
insert
bro.
Yeah.
Japanese name here's got a black eye.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable now with all of the comfort people that we have taken against their will. You're really harshing my vibe, dude. You guys got, like, come on. No, I think I like think of them as like frat boys that are just like real life frat boys have very little regard for the safety and lives of women or children, really.
The Japanese detachment of Omega Psi Upsilon. Skull and Bones Regiment ready to do some rape, sir.
I feel like if we started seeing militaries as more just like giant fraternities, I'm not sure whose reputation would be stained worse.
I'm not sure
by that.
I don't know if I would want to go through hazing to join an army that does that kind of shit.
I mean, I wouldn't want to join a fraternity either.
Well, no, but you gotta assume that like there are Japanese people who are like, yeah, I can't wait to get over to China and fucking join the brothers. But
one of the reasons why
I mean, we don't know.
We are very much in like the territory of I don't want to like humanize them too much territory, but the normal the normal Japanese soldier was not just treated like dirt by his superiors. They were like, it was a fraternity, but like the worst fraternity ever, where you would regularly get beaten. You normally didn't get like I think on average you got like 600 calories a day. It's like even though you needed 3,000 to be it's a very
so
you had to like steal from the countryside, kill, murder, loot.
It's a very Stalin way of running things, where you make yourself more terrifying than the enemy, so you better listen to what they say. Except in Japan, if you fail, they expect you to kill yourself.
Yeah, there's also again the Bushido code of conduct. Yeah.
Which again,
because again that's also why they treated POWs so poorly, was because they lost face. They lost their honor. Therefore, they are not to be treated as POWs.
See, so that's what
it was a catch-22 basically.
That's what I want to talk about for a sec. Like if you get defeated, you're expected to unalive yourself.
Yes.
But if you
heroically at least take down one more other guy,
brutalize like over 500 women and children, you still get to have honor. That is insane.
Yeah, because they are not considered humans.
That is still insane.
You're not raping a human, basically.
Again,
the mental gymnastics of Japanese propaganda and the Japanese state at that point is truly mind-boggling.
It's grotesque, but when you consider what's happening in Europe at this point, is it really that surprising?
What are you talking about?
Well, like concentration camps.
At this point, I'm like, right now?
No.
I was really confused for a second.
At the same point in time as this happened, yeah.
Yeah, but also they don't know that that's happening. The Japanese.
No, but I mean, like the fact that like people can have that mentality.
Yeah.
No, I know. But that's the thing is, you're not expected to have honor afterwards. This is a different sort of mentality. Where like, it's exactly like what they all said in the Nuremberg. They thought of it as like, well, I'm doing this because I've got to follow orders, whereas you're doing this so that you can maintain not only your personal honor but the honor of the country that you're serving.
Yeah, it's gross, but it's like Paul said, they just weren't seen as humans. Like I'm sure if they like did this to Japanese people, it'd be like, hey, we're gonna have a stern talking to you.
I'm not even entirely sure. I mean, at this point in history, I don't think any country was doing that in regards to the brutalization of women, unless you were a minority.
Yeah,
and it was a white woman. It's really not a good time in history for anybody.
No, it's a shit show all around.
Yeah.
Several times, the military threatened to disband the camps by force, but fortunately, nothing came of it. On the 19th of December, Rabe noted, quote, 6 Japanese who climbed over the fence of my garden tried to open the gate from the inner side. When I approached them and held my flashlight in the face of one of them, he grabbed for his pistol, but his hand fell down quickly when I screamed at him and held my swastika armlet under his nose. After this, all 6 of them climbed back over the fence, back on my command. My doors will never be open for trash like you. The 300 or 400 refugees in my yard, I don't know how many of them are really here in my yard. Use straw mats, old doors or tin shacks to get even a little bit of shelter against the snow and the cold.
I like picturing him as like an old man trying to get like squirrels off his lawn.
He's in his 50s, so
yeah. He's got a toothpick in his mouth. Get off my lawn.
Here, boy, you better go back the way that you came over there.
I'm not going to say the slur, but you know he would have said the slur.
You can't do that in a small town like this.
Yes, you definitely can. But I do appreciate that at no point does anyone seem to be glorifying themselves for saving the refugees. At least
it's
so
like
far.
a moral understanding of this has to be done.
But I'm thinking like they could have easily valorized themselves.
Oh yeah, a lot of like patting themselves on the back kind of shit. Yeah,
nothing so far.
But
has
also
read
he's
like
writing that in the moment, so I'm guessing again his brain is just swirling. He's probably up like 18 hours a day. When he's sleeping, he's probably having like the worst nightmares.
Yeah, true.
So he probably is just like, no, this are just the facts. I'm writing down the facts and that's it.
You have to be in like such fucking brutal survival mode in a situation like that.
But if you're in brutal survival mode, I can also see an argument being made for you clinging for anything to make yourself feel better, and valorizing yourself could be one thing.
I do like the image of a German yelling at Japanese, probably in German.
Yeah, like, true. Like, not
ihr Arschlöcher! Was macht ihr in meinem Garten, ihr Wichser?
But certainly not in Japanese. Like, that's not gonna happen.
But, fuck, I had a good point and then I forgot it.
Sorry.
No, never mind.
Okay. It will come back to you
probably when it's not relevant anymore.
All right. But nonetheless...
Oh, no, that was it. So, like...
That was quick. All right, say it.
So I swear to God, I didn't do that.
It's fine.
Is there not, just going back to like him not like valorizing himself, is there not a chance that like that maybe got lost in translation? Because I assumed this journal was written in German and translated into English.
Yes.
I don't know if you read the German
No, I didn't read the German original, no. I will have to at this point. Though.
I mean, German is not that complex
further traumatize myself.
No.
Yeah. I don't think that like... I
don't know. I'm just speculating.
The language difference is not that like different from English to like. I feel like there
would be more flowery words in there.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe.
Right. German lends itself equally to flowery language as the English language does. I said the word language a lot, but you know what I'm trying to say. And yeah, it's. My friend Franzi is German, so I think she would have said, yeah.
All right, but nonetheless, even the women inside the committee's safety zone also weren't automatically safe, according to Rabe. Quote, You wouldn't think it's possible, but the rape of the women also took place inside the women's camp of our international zone.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
In which around 5,000 to 10,000 women lived. The few foreigners of us couldn't be everywhere at the same time to protect everyone from the cruelty of the Japanese. One person alone was powerless towards these monsters who were weaponized to their teeth and who gunned down everyone who tried to defend themselves. They only had respect for us foreigners. But almost every one of us came close to death at least a dozen times. We mutually asked every one of us, how much longer can you endure this?
For when you first said that, I reacted instinctively because I'm like, what do you mean they're not... Is the call coming from inside that house?
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, again, not surprised.
Yeah. But, oh my God. I mean, probably, unfortunately... That probably is what happens. Statistically, it seems unlikely.
For sure. Again, think how fucking primal a situation like that's gonna make you.
Oh, yeah.
Not to justify it.
No, but it is a loss of humanity.
Yeah.
And, morals, they are just not just out the window, you know?
Yeah,
but it does...
fucking old yelled those morals.
Yeah, to continue on the old Yeller theme, it is dog eat dog in a situation like that. So.
Yes.
There is an easy racist joke to make right there, and I respect you for not making it.
You are and you think you're so much above it just because you pointed it out and made us all think of the joke ourselves.
Chow mein, really?
Well, you said it now, so I feel like I am actually above you for not doing. No, I was praising you for not doing it.
Oh, okay.
That's
honestly, I'm just not comedically quick enough to. I don't think I would have gotten there though.
Good for you, because I cannot say the same. Yeah, evidently.
On 24th of December, Christmas, he writes, quote, I've had to look at so many corpses over the last few weeks that I can keep my nerves in check even when viewing these horrible cases. It really doesn't leave you in a Christmas mood. But I wanted to see these atrocities with my own eyes so that I can speak as an eyewitness later.
Damn.
Is this going to get funny again?
Probably not.
Probably also nobody is celebrating Christmas either. So
him and the 20 other committee members, they're like popping champagne bottles.
Yeah, if they're still alive, like what? Or if they're German.
It said that like the Japanese like respected foreigners, so I guess there are still like other committee members.
There. He's not alone. He's not alone there. There's like 15, 20 people around with him included.
Yeah, but there are also 15, 20 people in an active war zone. Where are they going to get fucking Tannenbaum trees? Well, no, but, like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but
in China, like, you're not going to get that.
In World War I, they had a Christmas truce where like they played football. It's just like
in Europe.
Yeah, sure, but I mean, like if. You know,
where they have Christmas trees.
It still means something to you. You're probably there thinking, man, this sucks. It's Christmas. I want to be celebrating, and I'm fucking
with my wife and children who are still on the beach chilling.
Oh yeah, fuck, they're still there too. But
no, they're in Shanghai, and then they went back to Germany. But still, it would be funny that they're still on the beach.
I would not feel comfortable with my wife and children still being in the country.
Oh no, I would have.
So at least they left.
They would. I would have sent them far away.
I would send them back. It would have been safer in Nazi territory.
Yeah.
Which is so fucked up to think about. Yeah. But again, like, I think it's very unlikely that there are a lot of things contributing to the lack of Christmas spirit in this active war zone.
The Japanese are the Christmas Grinch. They stole Christmas.
Among many other things. Like, they were looting earlier. So.
Man, I wish I got some coal, then I can at least, heat myself up.
Oh, true.
All right. And on 30th of January, quote, my car is stopped on Hankou Road by a group of about 50 Chinese who asked me to rescue a woman whom a Japanese soldier had led away to rape. I found the house completely looted, the floor covered with all sorts of debris. In one of the open rooms is a coffin. And in the room adjoining, lying on a floor covered with straw and junk, I see the soldier, who is about to rape the woman. I manage to pull the soldier out of the room and into the entryway. When he sees all the Chinese and my car, he pulls away and disappears somewhere in the ruins of nearby buildings. The crowd stands at the door, murmuring, but quickly disperses when I tell them to, so as to not attract more Japanese soldiers. A man cannot be silent about this kind of cruelty. So that is ballsy to go up to a soldier and be like, nope, you're not raping today.
Yeah.
Like,
was he okay? I
think he's at this point he's like lost his like sense of like wanting to be alive, because you're doing these high risk things now to save a single life, like in the grand scheme of the thing. But you're like, fuck it, what's gonna happen? They're gonna shoot me? Oh well,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, I'm also thinking like there's something just viscerally kind of ridiculous of seeing someone like hunched over and just being like yeet, just throwing.
He picks him up by like the top and bottom of his shirt. It's like no.
Yeah, and he has like his dick out.
Yeah, I was thinking like
he's a German dude, so he might be way taller because he's from the north.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
He's a North German, so he's probably
a
like
fucking Scandinavian.
He's like two heads taller than the Japanese dude.
He just fucking throws it out. Oh my god.
Yeah, Kobe'd.
He Kobe'd this Japanese soldier. I was going to say, I don't know if this is valorizing territory. It is kind of a gray area, like you said, where it's like, yeah, well, I mean, he is in a state of mind where life or death doesn't really matter to him anymore. So
yeah, he's an automatic now.
I'm still keeping like my bullshit detectors are still very high, seeing as he is the good Nazi.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the shoe to drop. But I know this is not the worst thing that has come up so far. But it does bother me a little bit that he keeps saying the Chinese and not Chinese people. But I know that's...
you gotta give him some fucking credit.
I will not.
30s.
I will not.
I think it's lucky he's not calling him Chinaman.
No, but I know. I don't even know
what the Chinese, like the German equivalent to that is in German.
Chinesen?
No. There has to be...
Oh, the slur you mean.
Oh, there has to be something way worse. All right. Yeah. He seemed to have addressed Hitler about the situation in Nanking, but already wrote apologetically on the 29th of November, quote, "An answer from Hitler can't be expected, because such highly diplomatic issues have to be addressed in another way. In the meantime, I declare my deepest convictions that Hitler won't deny us his help."
Okay, all right, not...
There's so much to unpack.
There is, but I think you also have to look at it like none of us vilified the dude for putting the swastika flag on top of the factory.
Yeah.
To try and get the...
And using it the whole way through to like show the Japanese soldiers.
And also that swastika hits different in Asia, as we've established earlier.
But my point is like... Hitler is the chancellor of his country.
Yeah.
Like he can't. What's this dude gonna do? Get in touch with Winston Churchill or fucking,
somebody
who
else?
was the president in the U.S.? Was it JR then? Or?
No, it was FDR.
FDR, JR.
Franklin D.
Yeah, you can't get in touch with either of those dudes.
No, those.
Let me quickly send them a telegram. You know.
Well, yeah, but so like he's going to like the only like political figure if it wasn't Hitler, it was going to be someone else in the Nazi regime.
How is it that the Nazis are somehow the good guys
they
in
aren't.
this story?
They absolutely
in this story, yes, they are.
Him specifically.
Yeah, but at the moment,
the system is still not helping.
We're still both hesitant to call him a Nazi at the moment.
That's true. However, Hitler was contacted. I have a feeling he's going to get intervened first, because there are Germans there. He's not going to want to let it's like the same way America is about like American hostages. He's not going to want to I'm just thinking in his
I think how many Germans he's sending to die.
Well, they're not Germans to him. They're not human in his eyes.
The Nazi soldiers are.
Yeah,
that's clearly different in his opinion. What I mean.
Let's see.
Let's see. Nonetheless, Rabe kept his belief in Hitler. Quote, "He's a simple, plain man, like you and me."
Okay,
fuck him.
Fuck him.
Oh no! I like him because he talks simple. He makes up the silent majority. This gives me very
the
2016.
very loud majority in this
I can
case.
picture getting a beer with him. Like,
I take back everything I said.
yeah, fuck him.
There is not one person among us Germans and foreigners who isn't convinced that one word of Hitler, and only of him, would have the biggest impact in favor of the suggested neutral zone on the Japanese authorities. And he will speak those words. Everything that came was deafening silence from the German regime.
Okay, yeah, I take back everything I said.
It is a historical irony that the belief in Hitler, who stands today for genocide and destruction, kept Rabe going in his humanitarian work for the Chinese population of Nanking.
That is so fucking ironic. That's so sad, but it's so funny. I'm sorry.
That's why I picked him. He's again an interesting dude. Very, very, yeah. Again, he saved thousands of people.
It's like I can't even think of like another person off the top of my head whose values
like
were so evil, but they used them for a genuinely good cause. Like they did them with, where they actually did enough help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I literally can't think of any.
Yeah.
There will definitely be people saying it to me later. Or
When he goes to the pearly gates, there's going to be such a long list of his deeds because it's like, yes, this was evil, but also he saved these people.
Yeah.
This thing was evil, but also
he literally pulled a Japanese soldier off of a woman a woman he was trying to assault.
Yeah.
Like you cannot.
Oh, and probably also murder. Let's not beat around the bush.
Yeah.
On February 28th, 1938, he boarded the British gunship B and left Nanking. Being forbidden by the Japanese army to leave the city since December, Rabe's employee Siemens started mid-January to demand his return to Germany after the lift of this prohibition. And despite Rabe pleading to stay and continue his work after the prohibition to leave Nanking was lifted, he eventually left. So he tried to stay there wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, okay, maybe he is a good person. Jesus
Look,
Christ.
you have to. I've had this conversation with other people before. You have to acknowledge the strong. Do you want me to move?
No, it's fine.
You have to acknowledge the good and the strength of your enemies if you want your criticisms of them to count.
That's true.
So, my parents are always going on about Boris Johnson. It's like, yeah, but if you want to fucking tear that guy down, you have to.
Yeah.
Okay, he got vaccines. You have to fucking give him that credit.
Yeah.
And so to this point as well, it's just like, yeah. Hitler was a fucking evil dude. He built some good roads.
Which he didn't. That's another subject.
But whatever.
He took credit for them.
He took credit for him.
And also he ignored the people of Nanking. Okay, no, he does not get to have that.
Hitler is a special case in this case. But John Rabe is
okay, but you get my point. It's like John Rabe, yes, he was a Nazi, but if you want to fucking say fuck him, then it's okay to be conflicted by the fact but he did some good shit in China.
And also, I mean, we don't know that he believes in Hitler for racist reasons.
He seems like the classic, like a drone. Also, if you wanted to elevate yourself, again, he seems like a career guy too.
He's a career guy.
That's why he's definitely also part of the party.
Took money from the Nazis to start a school,
which is funny.
Yeah,
yes.
It's very funny, and there are a lot worse ways to use that money. Especially since the U.S. was actively taking money from them to give them weapons. We were not if you're.
No, you guys did.
General Motors did some things.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
There's some stuff. There was some stuff going on.
Yeah, we were war profiteering.
Oh yeah,
and this motherfucker is actively trying to help women and children in a war zone.
And he has the opportunity to leave, and he's like, no, I don't want to leave. I want to stay and help my father. And then they're like, no, you have to leave. That is,
which is tragic.
Which might also be the he's such a pain in the ass to the Japanese now at this point that they forced him basically to leave.
How did they? Under what authority could they even have him leave? That's what I wonder.
I mean, it's a fucking lawless murder village.
Yeah, exactly.
The Japanese are in charge right now, so
it could be leave or die.
Yeah.
Go
on that boat, but the indication is if you don't,
we can't kill you, but if you resist,
go
I
6
was
feet
thinking,
under.
why didn't they do that so much, or why didn't they do that with all
because
of the
it's still
foreigners
about
that were
losing face, and you don't want to have diplomatic problems with the Germans.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
and they might have like
Siemens makes a shit ton of stuff. I think at that point for the Japanese as well.
Fine,
at least
fine,
give them
yeah.
designs. That's one thing.
They also might have like the ports blocked with like submarines or what. I don't know what the
but
technology
they don't
was.
need the American missionaries there. They could have sent them.
No, but
back.
they've stopped anyone from like getting
Leaving.
in or out.
Yeah.
So if there's no way to get the dude out, then he's stuck there.
Well, I mean, if you get the foreigners out that are inconvenient for you, clearly that's possible. They could have done that a lot sooner.
Again,
Not Siemens, it's difficult, but everyone else.
it's again with your ally, it's always more difficult to do that.
Yeah.
And if your ally is like not happy with your way how you treat a
You're
whole
gonna get
populace,
a stern talking
exactly.
to from Hitler. He won't even give them a stern talking to in the city that's being ravaged. But he'll give them a stern talking to
crazy
for popping the heads of some Germans.
The attacks on civilians in Nanking continued for months, but the situation in February when Rabe left had stabilized so far, with the Japanese army finding slowly back to some order, and the worst part was over. Several members of Western embassies returned to Nanking. In February, the International Committee for the Nanking Safety Zone was replaced with the International Aid Committee. Rabe himself estimated that 50,000 to 60,000 Chinese fell victim to the Japanese army in the last few weeks. Today's estimations think that 200,000 to 300,000 people were murdered.
Jesus.
In a few weeks. Yeah. That's why it's called the Rape of Nanking.
Yeah.
Not because of the actual rape that was
Well,
happening.
that is also
probably contributed to
yes, but also
no, it was horrifying.
Yes.
Yeah, what they did.
That's the one thing that I've the connective tissue to Rabe was like a year or two ago when I was doing research generally for this podcast. I came across like a battlefield, like a atrocity description from Nanking from a Japanese soldier, and the guy didn't hold back, let's put it that way. And that was the moment where I'm like, how have we not heard about this in Western media? How didn't I learn about this?
I mean,
in
Because
school?
it wasn't us.
Also, I think
I know, but dude, it's one of the fastest
Paul, we know why.
atrocities ever committed. It was so quick.
Yeah.
It is insane that we are capable. Like,
Paul,
we killed like this amount of people in like one of our concentration camps over like 5-6 years. They did it in a few weeks, months. You know?
but
you can't have the Austrian or German government on the record being like, this one Nazi was a good guy.
Right.
That is the worst PR. What the fuck are you talking about? Why don't we learn about him?
Right.
He's literally a Nazi. You can't go out saying like he was the good guy. And that is the worst PR.
Yeah.
Also, you got like, just from a logistical point of view, you got to bear in mind, this was damn near 100 years ago, and there's like 20 non-Asian people there.
Right.
Like, that's not a lot of people to fucking tell a story that big. And like, the Japanese aren't going to want to, like, in the 80s be like, hey, guys, did you know we did this? And the fucking Chinese people aren't alive to tell the fucking
We have
story.
an amazing manga.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, it's a hard sell to do a subject about this guy to begin with. It's a hard sell. I have a feeling it's going to be an interesting sell this podcast episode. But it's even harder if you are a state-funded school that is like post.
I know that is absolutely.
But that's.
Yeah, please don't call this episode the good Nazi.
No.
I am.
But
I'm a good Nazi.
we laugh. It's not a bad title for the guy. Like, after that, it's like, all right, man, that's fair.
Yeah.
I am a Nazi.
All right.
that gets clipped out of context.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Back to atrocities.
Oh, for fuck.
Well, I thought we were done. He's gone.
Nope. No one can say how many rapes had occurred.
There's like 5 more pages.
The numbers here vary between 20 to 80,000 rapes in these few weeks. It is estimated that through the work of Rabe and his comrades of the committee, over 200 to 250,000 Chinese were saved and survived the massacre. That is so yeah, every one of them basically saved 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Each, if you break it down per person of the committee, that is insane.
It's insane, yeah.
That is crazy.
That's
Suck on that, Schindler.
I've been thinking about Schindler this entire time as well, because he accepted money from the Nazi party as well, right?
Yes.
It's like, well, okay, yeah, no, they're all. Now I don't feel as conflicted being like, they're both Nazis. They took, not just because they took money, but because ideologically. At
least collaborators to a certain degree.
Yeah, they weren't sympathizers, but they were, collaborators is the correct word, I would say. But
AIDS.
Because this was, in his private journal, he was like, Hitler's a dude. So,
you know who was a real bro? Hitler.
Except he wasn't, which is so funny that he had so much faith in the Führer, and then he's like, nah, son. You know how we're gonna get you out?
Left him on red.
Literally left him on red.
Yeah. The last refugee camps were closed in May 1938. After George Ashmore Fitch departed, Hubert Lafayette's son was elected administrative director of the Nanking International Relief Committee. Rabe picked up his wife Dora from Shanghai, and together they returned to Germany after Siemens ordered Rabe to do so.
Wait, so they were in Shanghai that whole time?
Apparently.
What
Good Lord.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What the fuck? How? How would you? Oh my God.
I went shopping today.
Well, I mean, geographically, how far are these two places away?
I think they're pretty far
Not
away.
far enough.
Not far enough, but you think how fucking big China is. Like, if
I don't care. I was still like, you need to get the fuck. I mean, unless
I agree with you. I would definitely want my wife and child out of the country.
I would literally rather they be in Nazi Germany than.
Well, yeah, because they're German, so there's no danger for them in Nazi Germany.
Exactly. That's the only reason why anyone should be in Nazi Germany at this point. Oh my God.
And even then,
even Hitler wanted to get out of Nazi Germany.
Yeah, exactly.
He did by the end.
After arriving there, he moves into one of the company's living accommodations in Berlin and continues his fight for the people in Nanking in the following month by trying to garner further awareness of the public and the party by publicly showing images, reports, audio materials, and films about the atrocities by the Japanese army.
Oh, that's another good point about why you don't learn about this. Like, that would have been covered up, surely, at the time if this is happening by German allies.
This definitely gained attention for him, but not the good or helpful kind, as his activities led to his arrest by the notorious Gestapo, the Geheime Staatspolizei, which interrogated him. Oh, fuck. A Gestapo interrogation is, no. It's literally like every evil guy scene ever of every movie. No.
And it's for doing charity work.
Yeah.
He's literally
he's being subversive. He's trying to undermine our allies' glorious subjugation of the
it's not even trying to
under subhuman Chinese.
He's not even trying to undermine the allies. He's trying to undermine his own people, where they're like, and fucking Adolf over there did dick.
He did jack shit. Yeah. I believed in you, Adolf.
Oh, apathetic Adolf over there.
What the
apathetic Adolf? Is that like a garbage pail kid guy? Apathetic Adolf. This is fantastic.
There's the album name right there.
That's like, I've got a joke to make later.
Shit. He was only released under the condition that he would stop his activities regarding the committed crimes in Nanking. The photos, audio materials, and films were confiscated. Rabe was only allowed to keep his diary. So you were absolutely right.
Yeah.
Well, so how do we do those films still exist?
I'm guessing some of them still do. In June of 1938, Rabe even wrote a letter once again to Hitler, further promising to stop his activities in regards of Nanking, stating that he had no intentions of working in opposition to German politics or the German public authorities. So he's fucking scared now. He's like, no, I will never do anything such like this.
This is where it gets tricky again, because like instinctively you want to have sympathy for him until you remember he's a Nazi.
But also he was just interrogated by the Gestapo. And the Gestapo,
but again, he's
the Gestapo
a Nazi.
also made Nazis disappear. Because again, if they think like, oh, they are subversive or they're not ideally following the rules,
if they're working
and stuff
for
like
the
that,
enemy.
you got disappeared too.
No, sure, I get that. But I mean, like, his ideology lined up with what was happening.
Oh, yes.
So that's where it's like, it's conflicting because you do want to feel sorry for him, but also fuck him.
Did it really, though? Ideology?
I feel like I don't know how widely known it was about the concentration camps
at that point, not at all.
But I feel like the propaganda about Jewish people and Romani and homosexuals and whatever, that was all pretty fucking out there. That was the whole point.
It was out there, but we don't know that he bought into that. I think it's more with all of this in mind, including the private journal where he's praising Hitler. I think it's also possible that he's just bitch to authority. Like he loves licking the boots of anyone in power.
And also the Germanic ideal of like you being a subject of the
minus the master race. It's literally just I am loyal to my country.
And having again founded a German school, I think he just loves German, like the concept of Germany and German.
Yeah, maybe, but
I think he's like an ultra nationalist.
Yeah,
maybe.
he's a nerd, and he's a big fucking nerd.
I mean, he probably learned Chinese, so for back then, he's definitely a nerd.
The more I learn about him, I'm like, okay, I sort of flip flop between.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. The only way I would ease up on the but he was a Nazi thing is if the Gestapo took his diary.
Yes.
I'm willing to go out and assume that there's a chance that pages of that got torn out. Whereas, like, you can keep this, but nope. So, for all that, there might have been some...
Only the diary he was allowed to keep.
Yeah, sure, but...
So they didn't take it.
Oh, this way, you mean?
Yeah. I don't I don't know, but, like...
Here we go. But nonetheless, Rabe wrote a digested, but apparently... unpublished version of his Nanking diaries in 1942, in which he added a section in regards to his reasoning to stay in Nanking. Quote, I'm a party member of the NSDAP in the rank of political leader, Amtswalter, and temporarily even held the office of deputy local leader, Stellvertretender Ortsgruppenleiter.
He did this while Hitler was still alive.
I think he had to.
He didn't.
I think he had to. I think this is. But he had to add that he's.
But he didn't have to publish it at all.
He didn't publish it.
But it's there. Like it's all.
Yeah, it's weird.
He's writing it with the expectation that people are going to read it, which means they're going to read everything else. I'm sorry, that's fucking ballsy. That you're like that you're writing all of this and with the expectation that it will be public.
Yeah.
While he's still alive and is actively trying to suppress the information that you are trying to get out there. What the fuck?
Further, he wrote that Germans were soldiers and friends of the workers who would never leave behind other workers, even if, as a National Socialist, his primary concern were German, not Chinese workers. In this attitude, it was impossible for him to leave the poor Chinese to their fate of being slaughtered. Again, so he's a weird understanding of National Socialism to a certain degree. Like, workers unite, but only nationally.
Yeah. Again, like, this doesn't read like someone who thinks that, like, believes in, like, an Untermensch. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this reads like...
At least not in this context.
Not really, no.
We don't know his views on the Jews.
Yeah, but again, like... The Chinese are right there. He could have been much more racist.
Oh, yes.
Not that you get a pass for that, by the way. But it's still like, I'm sorry. Like, he had the opportunity to be like, fuck this. I was only trying to protect the German people because I love Germany so much.
I love my brownie points,
Because, like, Hitler's not going to give him brownie points for helping people he deems as subhuman.
Yeah.
Like, that's, again, I don't know. I don't know about if I agree that the ideology is evil.
He continued to work for Siemens in distribution offices and in the Office for Foreign Affairs, taking care of Siemens employees who were interned overseas by the then enemy, aka the Allied forces. After the end of the war, due to his affiliation to the NSDAP, Rabe lived with his family in a dire financial situation. First, the family suffered greatly from the shortage of food during the first weeks of the Soviet occupation of Berlin. In post-war Germany, Rabe is denounced for his Nazi Party membership and arrested first by the Russians and then the British. However, subsequent investigations exonerate him of any wrongdoing.
I mean...
Rabe is denazified by the Allies in June 1946, but lives in poverty. Monthly food parcels and money sent from grateful colleagues in China partly sustain Rabe and his family. But after the Guangdong is defeated by the communists in 1949, the deliveries stop. Rabe's wife Dora collected acorns and other food.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a fall from grace right there.
No good deed goes unpunished.
yeah. I'm one of the few Nazis who I personally could see as being actually denazified.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree with that.
Real meaning of the word.
Yeah.
And then he lives in squalor while other real Nazis...
fucking Werner von Braun is putting motherfuckers on the moon.
He's a fucking, awesome drip,
Mengele's hiding
eating
out...
all the hot dogs,
Mengele's hiding out in Argentina, making frequent visits back to Austria while they're still looking for him. Who is it? Adolf Eichmann is also
Wait, what? Is that true? Or
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
No. The Mengele... Yeah.
Mengele went on vacation.
Frequently went back and saw his family. I don't know if it was the Mossad or one of the government agencies that were looking for him.
Fucking
were in contact with his family, and his family were just like, yeah, we do not know where he is. Look this shit up. It is bonkers and it is insane. Infuriating.
Wow. Yeah.
No, because
he would have deserved at least
Mengele gets
a life. Not this.
I still don't think that he should escape like he says in the very beginning.
Yeah.
But he did not deserve this.
Yeah.
Like that. And again, this sort of goes to show if they're willing to take the title of Nazi away from him without getting anything in return.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah. I mean, they denazified, it's 1946, it's pretty early still. But they
don't get anything in return.
Yeah, well...
He doesn't help the U.S. government.
No.
He doesn't have any information except for the Nanking stuff.
Yeah.
There literally nobody benefits by taking away the title.
In this way, yeah, that's true.
what I'm saying, is politically no one benefits.
They did mass denazification, heavy air quotes here, waves later on to bolster up the army and everything else, because the red threat became so apparent,
Sure.
So they just let's let all the Nazis back in,
But again, they benefit from that.
Yeah.
The Americans benefit by...
Yes, in this case, it was very much no, this guy literally falls under that classification. Yeah. After being denazified, Rabe took up working for Siemens again. He loves that company.
The loyalty.
Well, you gotta think, there's
where else is he gonna work?
But where else would he need to work? He's just gonna walk in and be like, "Hey, where's my job?"
Yeah.
You're not gonna give me a job after fucking Nanking? Fuck off.
Yeah. He already had the Riz, but now he's got a
Do you know how many vacation weeks I have stored up?
He just walks behind someone's desk, pulls away their wheelie chairs, not mine now.
Thank you,
just
John.
lifts him up like a Japanese soldier.
So took up working.
He's got the head of a Japanese soldier,
on a pike.
On a pike on his desk, right next to a picture of his wife and kids.
Really ties the room together.
Yeah, exactly.
Rabe took up working for Siemens again, but just in a lower position as a translator. On the 5th of January 1950, John Rabe, impoverished and forgotten, died after a stroke. After John's death, his wife Dora remained in Berlin, where she passed away on 17 September 1965 at the age of 81. Their grave is located at the Kaiser Wilhelm Gedächtnis Graveyard in Berlin-Charlottenburg. All right,
wow.
And a little bit here, an addendum, post-mortem or whatever. Rediscovery of John Rabe, his action and his diary. Rabe's diaries were discovered in 1996 during Iris Chang's research for her book The Rape of Nanking, The Forgotten Holocaust of World War II, published in 1997, who tells Rabe's story. The diaries immediately caused an international sensation when they were presented to the public by Rabe's granddaughter in New York in December 1996.
Oh my God. Wait, so they had several decades in between the war and oh my God, I thought people knew about this.
Well, they knew about it, but not really.
Well, yeah, it's like the Tulsa Massacre. We only found out really about that on a global scale, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
Thank you, the Watchmen, the TV show.
Yeah, thank you,
Wait, was that
Alan.
what?
It was in Watchmen.
It's literally in the pilot episode and the entire.
I didn't even know there was a Watchmen TV show.
It's great.
I got wind of it off the back of the George
He's
Floyd
so
stuff.
much of an ally to black people that he just independently brought up Tulsa.
That is, yeah.
But even then, like Tulsa, Oklahoma is still like in America, so I don't necessarily expect people outside of America to know about this. But this is World War II.
Yeah.
Everyone knows,
but it's
so
the Chinese
people,
front. It's the Sino-Japanese war, so they're like, oh, who gives a shit? It's Asian on Asian violence.
But it's, I mean, I don't know. I still think that like this is one of those things where again you have a good Nazi. That is an insane sentence that I'm saying right now. Of course that's going to draw international attention. That's insane that I'm even saying these words right now. Like, because I was...
Who in Hollywood right now would be frothing at the mouth to play that role?
There's only one man we can call.
There's only one man who can direct it, and that's Steven Spielberg.
Yes, that is true.
But I can't think of it. Brad
Mel
Pitt's not gonna say.
Yeah, obviously Mel. Finally.
Jim Caviezel. I don't know. He plays Jesus. That's Mel Gibson's favorite guy, I guess. Because you have to understand, because like, you know, we don't have a great education system in the U.S. But even as a teenager, I had heard about this. But the fact,
really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm hearing about it the first time today.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I've heard of the Grape of Nanking. YouTube, you better not fuck with us.
That'll save this episode.
Now it's really,
Just in case Susan, like, flops to
Susan is not working for them anymore.
Oh, she's not? Okay.
Yeah, who's Susan?
She was the CEO. The previous CEO of
I'm behind on my YouTube lore. I'm a fake fan. I'm sorry.
All right.
But yeah, no, it's just, it feels like something that I am surprised that people have not always known about this, because I've known about it like vaguely, but I mean,
you're right in that age bracket where it became like a more publicly known thing.
Yeah, that's
all right.
bonkers.
Let's get through this. We have 2 more pages.
Okay.
Jesus.
A small selection of this source was published in 1997 in German as well as in English, Japanese, and Chinese translations. The Chinese version is a complete translation of the digest written by Rabe in 1942, whereas the English and Japanese versions are translated from the abridged German version. Edited by John Rabe's acquaintance Irvin Wickert in 1997. For the first time, this project examines the 2 unabridged versions of John Rabe's Nanjing diaries, originally written in Nanjing in 1937-1938, rewritten in Berlin in 1942, and places them in the context of related sources, including other war diaries, memoirs, news reports, and diplomatic documents. Evidence for the atrocities committed in Nanjing in the winter of 1937-1938 includes military documents and diplomatic reports, as well as testimonies by Chinese survivors, former Japanese soldiers, and members of the international community who lived in Nanjing during that period. Since the rediscovery of Rabe's diary, historians declared his records as an outstanding historical source, as his records are mostly in line with the account of other witnesses.
Yeah.
Thorsten Weber, a principal researcher at the German Institute of Japanese Studies in Tokyo, says about the meaning of Rabe as a direct contemporary witness and his records in his diary as a historical source about the Nanking massacre. Quote, Rabe's Nanjing diaries are of particular value mainly for 2 reasons. First, comprising more than 1,800 pages.
He wrote 1,800 pages. How do you even
so many atrocities?
Yeah.
No, but think about this. We've been talking about how he's been in survival mode this entire time, and yet he's still like forward thinking enough to be like, we need to document this right now.
That might be the only fucking thing he's got to keep his sanity.
I guess, but like,
write it down.
Yeah.
it would be difficult for me in that situation and not just like stare at a wall.
I mean, we all would like just break and be whimpering on the floor.
Immediately.
Yeah, but
Like, I would not be, my focus would not be on documenting this for historical record.
I don't know about you, but if I was in Nanking when this shit started kicking off, I would have been like, and goodbye. Best of luck to you.
Smoke bomb.
I thought you were going to be like, if I were in Nanking, things would have got a lot different.
No. So, like, my point is, like, yeah, we aren't built like this fucking dude.
No, I just...
Also, like, imagine the fucking upbringing this guy had. Like, I think how bad, like, not how bad parenting for our generation was, but like already there's like Dave got so much trauma.
Yeah.
So think what it was like for him, where it's just like fucking smack.
Yeah.
You don't like, you just fucking eyes forward and as mechanical as you can.
Even if you're not traumatized, I still think that it is commendable that he at least had the forethought to document this for historical record, and we know for a fact that is the reason he's doing this.
Sure.
Because why else would you detail everything?
And he says multiple times, like, I'm writing this down as evidence, basically.
Exactly.
Again,
I would have just
fascinating character, that man. Fascinating.
Extremely.
Yeah, but again, 1,800 pages is insane.
He's a nerd. He's a big fucking nerd who happened to witness one of the worst war crimes ever committed.
All right. Continuing the quote. They are the most comprehensive source produced in Nanjing during the Japanese attack of the city, at least that we know of today. In addition to daily diary entries, they also contain a rich collection of documents, including letters, newspaper clippings, telegrams, and photos. Second, as chairman of the International Safety Zone and an old China hand, old Cheddar hand, I'm guessing German jokes here, ha ha ha, very
China
funny.
That sounds like another slur.
Yeah, but I'm guessing it's about like, you know, like an expatriate kind of thing.
I see.
Yeah. Rabe was well connected and held a key position even among the foreigners who had remained in Nanjing. Therefore, he had access to information and materials like no one else in the city, including contacts to the Japanese embassy. Due to his position, Rabe is also referred to as the de facto mayor of Nanjing, after Mayor Ma Chuozhan, who was mayor from 1945 to 1947 until he went away.
And he peaced out.
He peaced out, and then he came back from 1945 to 1946. What a surprise!
At that point, you don't go home. You pussied out.
He had fled the city.
You piece of shit.
Just fucking rocked back. I was like, "Hey, we won!" Like, oh, we're gonna eat you. Fucking eat you.
But also, wait, you said he died in poverty. He was working for Siemens that whole time. Did they not help him
as a translator?
Yeah,
it's
they
not
got
like
him a small position only. Yeah.
But they could have paid him more.
A corporation don't cares about their employees.
The guy who, I'm just saying, like, he got fucked by Hitler and the company he was loyal to for his entire life.
Yeah,
that's
his
so
loyalties
fucked up.
did not pay off.
That's so sad.
You just know that he fucking walked into like that job interview as like, did you see the fucking state that you left that Nanking factory in? And you swaddle in here thinking that you're going to get high management.
You know that flag on the roof was not according to regulations.
We had to send someone to take that down. That's fucking so embarrassing for us.
Yeah, basically. I'm so mad, actually. He was loyal to everyone. He still got punished for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's the message of the episode, kids. Don't ever be loyal to anyone.
Backstab at anyone.
Least of all the Nazis.
Don't be loyal to Nazis or corporations. They will never help you.
The Chinese, however, you want to... You want to stick for them, but...
Be loyal to the Chinese. Yeah, that's true. They gave him a mayoral position.
Basically.
And they sent him food, which you got to think wasn't good by the time it got there.
Rice keeps.
That's true. Well, rice
he's
is
the only
uncooked
he's
rice.
He's the only Berlin guy who has like a fat ass like Chinese buffet.
Yeah. If we send you some duck vaginas, we hope they're still good when you get there.
I hope at the very least, like, the Chinese population of Berlin accepted him.
No,
that they were like, that's my guy.
Yeah, I can't imagine that was a booming
Who cares? I just hope he had some friends.
Okay. That's true.
Just at least
to some Tai Chi in the park, you know.
Since he was abandoned by everyone else, I hope that he at least has some friends at the end of this.
Yeah.
Turns out
it's a sad story. In 1997, the tombstone of the Rabes was transferred transferred to the memorial site in Nanking. In 2005, the house in Nanking in which the Rabes lived was renovated by financial support from Siemens, finally pulling through. In China, the German consul in Shanghai and the
we'll look
University
after
of
him when we can do it on Chinese labor money.
Yeah, exactly. And the University of Nanking, which collected 2.25 million yuan. That's around 250,000 euros. That house was transformed to a memorial hall for Rabe and has been open to the public since 2006. Also in 2005, Rabe's grandson Thomas Rabe founded this with support with his family the John Rabe Kommunikationszentrum in Heidelberg in southwest Germany.
Wow.
So there's at least some keeping his name alive things going on.
Yeah.
In fall 2007, the filming of Rabe's life and actions in Nanking under the direction of Oscar-winning director Florian Gallenberg began, with German actor Ulrich Tukur as Rabe. The movie had its premiere in 2009 at the Berlinale.
Okay, so we spoke too soon about the movie.
Highly recommended to watch.
Mel Gibson can remake it.
Deep faking into it.
Oh my God.
You know what? SAG-AFTRA, if they want any hope of coming to an agreement with the studios, just give
him Mel Gibson.
Just give them
Mel.
Gibson. # give them Gibson.
Anybody who's cancelled is fair play.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, the ghost of Rabe is like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, hey, have a Nazi play a Nazi. I mean,
Highly recommended to watch, by the way. It is a depressing, maybe not always historically correct, but nonetheless extremely good movie. Watched it once, but still remember it to this day. All right.
Wow.
On the 23rd of November 2012, on the occasion of the 130th birthday of Rabe and the 75th founding of the Nanking Safety Zone on the day before, 3 identical memorial plaques about Rabe and his actions were revealed in Nanking, Hamburg, and Berlin. Interpretations of what happened in Nanking vary widely, from complete denial by some Japanese to exaggerations and simplifications by PRC propaganda. Why are you gonna exaggerate it? The fuck are you doing, Republic of China? What the fuck?
Well, making it
You
work.
don't need to exaggerate this.
That's true, yeah.
It already works perfectly as propaganda.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but
They did 100% of their job already.
Yeah.
It's China in 2012.
Right.
Like, what do you expect?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Uyghurs are already in a camp somewhere.
Yeah. That's true.
In China, the Chinese government immediately started to celebrate both Zhang and Rabe as heroes too. Both were added to the Nanjing Massacre Memorial in 2005. In this way, Rabe's diaries were immediately linked to the general criticism of Japan's lack of repentance, even though Rabe's diaries did not contain any political reference to this end. In 2006, I think that's why it works better even, probably.
Yeah.
Because it's just a look at the shit they done.
Yeah, it's
list.
it's a bit awkward who he's pledging allegiance to, but again, it's not for really political reasons.
Yeah,
It's literally just please help.
Yes.
We need help.
Yes. Yeah. Like screaming into the void. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
In 2006, at the opening of the memorial site in John Rabe's old house in Nanking, current Chinese leader Xi Jinping stated, Chinese people, quote, Chinese people commemorate Rabe because he has a great love for life as well as the pursuit of peace. That second part is definitely love for life in the sense of preserving it, I guess. Like,
I can't imagine that dude loved his life.
No, just the concept of it. He's in love with the concept of life.
Just like he's in love with the concept of Germany, but not actually the what was happening.
Yes. Meanwhile, Japan mainly continues to downplay or deny the crimes against humanity committed by its military during the Second Sino-Japanese War and the Second World War. A new secondary school history textbook released by Japan's Ministry of Education at the start of 2005 describes the massacre at Nanking as an incident with relatively few casualties.
They're just like us.
Yeah, I think Nintendo is a Japanese government conspiracy where it's just like the British being polite. It's like, no, we're gonna put out all this happiness and like fun, pink, family energy into the world, so no one would ever assume we're evil.
Okay, if we give you cat girls, will you please shut the fuck up?
We did what? No, we gave you Kirby. That couldn't have been us.
Anime. You want to live in a world without anime titties? Like, you gotta shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but calling it an incident. The invasion of China is called an advancement. References to the mass rape and sexual enslavement of women and girls are not included.
Oh, fucking course not. What do you mean advancement? Advancement in what?
You their also border, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You got your ass handed to you single-handedly by a 6'1" fucking not literally, but you know what I mean. Like one dude was enough to.
Yeah, that is poor show on the Japanese part. Where like this. Fucking 20 guys are fucking this up for you, really?
Yeah, exactly.
And by covering this, it will also get all the Japanese nationalists' panties in a bunch too. That's gonna happen to us.
Good. Fuck you.
Because that happened to Lions Led by Donkeys. They got when they covered the rape of Nanking, specifically that one.
You should feel bad.
Well, they got a slew of death threats.
Fuck it, they can get their vending machine panties in a twist.
This is the worst insult I could give to these Japanese nationalists. You're literally just as bad as us, Britain and America. You are just as evil as us.
I felt sorry for you when South Park did their dolphin and whale episode, but now we're speaking only to nationalists, of course.
Yes, other Japanese people, y'all are cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
While some historians like Yokoyama Hiroaki praised Rabe's accounts as historical material of outstanding quality, which Rabe had compiled in an absolutely faithful manner, others, like the best-selling revisionist mangaka Kobayashi Yoshinori, used them in a revisionistic way to downplay the events during the Nanking rape.
I just want to say thank you for waiting to get me onto the podcast until it's the episode where the Japanese are going to come after me.
I mean, evidently, only 20 guys was enough to take them down, so I think you'll be fine, Jack.
You can hold them off, you know?
Evidently,
just make yourself look big and they will flee.
I've heard that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
That or soil yourself. Yeah, I can never remember which one.
What, do you have to treat Japanese people like bears? Like, what
exactly.
like mankind.
Well, that was the joke we were going for.
Like Thorsten Weber remarked, quote, the controversy over the Rabe diaries are part of the controversy over the historicity and significance of the Nanjing massacre, which as such is the main side of the history wars between China and Japan. So it's still to this day being used basically as weird bargaining chip.
Yeah.
Ugh. The first article published by the international press on the diaries compared Rabe to Oskar Schindler and ended with a quote by Iris Chang. Quote, I think he felt that he could make a difference, that if Germany knew what Japan was doing, then maybe Germany could have influenced Japan to stop it. It may have been naivete, but to me, John Rabe is the Oskar Schindler of China, another example of good in the face of evil.
Arguably, this guy is kind of a better person than Schindler.
In total numbers, he's beating him.
Yeah. But also, didn't Schindler kind of agree more with Nazi ideology? Or maybe I'm confusing him.
We might have to cover him separately at some point. Yeah. But this is, I don't want to speak out of time. I'm not up to date on my Schindler.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that is really shitty that to this day, you can't let sleeping dogs lie. You have to you're gonna bring it up not in any sort of productive sense, but just to use it as propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
That's that it's almost
welcome to the Eurocentrism where nothing really is good.
Yeah, that is
the aneurysm. No,
that is true to every episode. Is that none of them are they're all dark. Not usually this dark, but it's never a happy ending necessarily.
Well, with some of them, it's a happy ending when they die.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
There's a shithead more in the ground.
Yeah.
All right, one last line by a researcher. So all in all, it's safe to say that this at the end of this episode. Together with Oskar Schindler, John Rabe, as well as his companions of the International Committee, deserves the attention of the answer to inhumanity and war. And as always, you can find the paper in the link description, as well as the sources we've been using. So this was the story of John Rabe.
Yeah, that was quite something.
Right?
Yeah.
I read through this already, but still, reading it out loud is a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
This was, again, super fucked.
Yeah. I had heard of this, but I didn't know all of the details, and it is really, it's in the worst sense of the word, riveting. It's harrowing. That's the word.
Yeah.
And thank you for not including more of the graphic descriptions too, because they are out there. And
thank you so much, Franzi, for your
sorry.
service.
Yes.
Sorry for the fact that you had to look that up.
Yeah.
That's fucking
I'm
great.
sorry I got you in on this, and the first thing that's given to you is the most traumatizing. I'm so sorry.
literally a trial by fire.
But she clearly,
She crushed it.
she murdered this.
Well, he stopped murdering.
Wrong choice of words.
He stopped the murdering. That's
No, this was very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
being a cock blocker for good. That is
cock block.
He cock blocked a bunch of Japanese.
Yeah. I don't know, but how do we feel about calling him the good Nazi still? Like, what are the thoughts? How do we feel?
He's just a base level moral person, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of it's really hard to go in on because there were obviously people who were drafted into the Nazi Party in the Second World War who were like not on board with what was going on, what was being said. And this dude just sounds like a patriot, which again, in the fucking context of the 30s,
still questionable.
I'm not
insanely questionable.
I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say, oh, he definitely wasn't a Nazi. But from everything, I don't see any reason why the British or the Americans would be in a super rush to denazify people before they were drafting them for the Red Army fight.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It might be. Let's put it this way: if he was a Nazi, then that's a fair title.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think if he was a Nazi, that's a fair title. Calling him a Nazi, I really don't know, and I'm not gonna fucking come to a conclusion. I don't need to.
I don't know who the quote is by, but it was, I think, like an American general or something. The difference between a normal human, a man and a hero, is 15 seconds of bravery or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
He strikes me as that kind of guy who's just like in the moment, like, I'm just gonna do the right thing now. I have to do the right thing because that's just how, like, I couldn't look myself into the mirror if I didn't do that. And he did it, which is insane. And
he did it, and
he did it with such riz that the Japanese left him alone.
He did it with such riz and humility. That is the, I was expecting
he's not aggrandizing himself. He's not patting himself on the back.
Not even a little bit. Like that. I was waiting for that.
And he died in poverty and as a small, impoverished man. Yeah,
and he was never anyone he pledged allegiance to left him for dead.
Yeah.
Boned.
Like Werner von Braun was on Johnny Carson or something like that. Meanwhile, this guy is dead in the ground.
He's in a Walt Disney film.
Yeah, right.
Werner von Braun. Oh my God. That's so infuriating.
Infuriating.
I mean, Walt Disney really didn't like the Jews either. So I suppose he's in perfect company.
Yeah.
It would not be maybe would not have been in as great company as John Rabe. I feel like he would have been a little bit awkward, oh, you're actually a war hero.
Yeah.
Boy, those horns are really pronounced there, Walt.
I copyrighted them. You can't use those for another 70 years.
Also, you're not allowed to unionize. Well, yeah, he was pro-union too.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, was it just for the Germans, or were there also Chinese
I don't know. Probably in the Siemens
in this
factory
union.
In China, they probably had a bunch of Chinese workers.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess he would have just had to say, I was doing this all for Germany.
That's what I meant with baseline human behavior.
Yeah.
He sees them as humans.
Yeah.
As opposed to most of the other foreigners, you know?
As opposed to a means to an end.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're, like, your intent is not to do evil, like, it seems like the running theme is everyone else, every other character sees in this story sees a person as just, what am I going to get out of this?
Right.
And at no point does he get, not only does he not get anything out of it.
Yeah.
He has everything fucking taken away
He
from
has
him.
literally everything taken away from him. And at the expense
And
of
dies
other...
relatively young. Yeah.
He didn't even die of diabetes.
No,
too.
it's just, I mean, that
An
didn't probably
unrelated
help.
health complication
The stroke,
gets him.
the stroke is still, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking bad way to go out.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, so that was John Rabe.
Well, that was upbeat. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, it was a pleasure having you, man.
Yeah.
No, again, this was very much a skill check, basically. Like, I knew I had to get somebody of your caliber to
Don't blow smoke up my ass.
No, this is true. We had a discussion.
We
before
did
that
have a
on
discussion.
who we gonna have
It is
on.
a small pool of people who can be trusted to handle this material without being horrifyingly insensitive
I'm flattered.
and still being
Yes.
funny.
Yes,
It is
exactly. You're
difficult.
you're that rope walk kind of guy.
Say
you know?
say what you will. The material was very dark. I still think that this was a good episode.
I thought
Yes.
this was a great episode.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a-
I did laugh. It was not
Educational.
It was educational, and I kind of feel like a little bit like maybe there's some good in the world. A little bit. We absolutely do not reward it.
No. This
But
man got jack shit.
The least we can do is talk about it,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
keep this as
There
alive
you
as
go. It's
possible.
an interesting conversation to have as well.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the whole point of the
What really
Eurocentrist.
is a Nazi? Let's have that conversation. No.
We'll have that off the air.
camera.
This is gonna be a bonus episode.
Yeah.
But
Patreon
seriously-
exclusive.
Seriously though, Jack, where can people find you? Your links will be in the description, obviously below. But address the camera. Yeah. The people.
Yes. Find me on the links below. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I post sporadically on both, but if you're in Europe, there's a chance I'll be in a town that you live in sometime soon. So.
And check out his solo. It is fantastic. You're
We don't know what
you're
it's
one of my
called
favorite
yet.
comedians. So,
Boom.
there's that.
Aw.
And yet you still felt the need to skill check me, you
Yeah.
mother...
And you passed.
Yeah.
Flying colors. What do you want?
We gotta keep you on your toes.
Let's see if he's up to this.
So everybody, thank you for listening to this episode, and see you in 2 weeks when we will have a non-atrocity this time.
We will?
Woohoo.
Okay.
Yeah,
bastards.
we'll take a little bit of a break.
Okay.
I can't traumatize Ali too much.
Yeah. Also, don't traumatize me again.
What the fuck what did I do here? My crime is being good at my job.
Correct.
Fuck you both.
It's the theme
Just
of the
like
episode.
John Rabe.
It's
Just
the
like
theme
John
of the
Rabe.
episode.
You don't get nothing, my good sir. Goodbye.
No good deed goes unpunished.
It's me and Robbo, two of a kind.
This has been the Eurocentrist podcast.
Bye.